Hello everybody, it is Christine, time for Iron Crafter. So a scrapbook process video where we use an ingredient, and this month's ingredient, timely enough, is Nuvo drops, because I did this in my haul earlier in the month, but I just got a peachy keen deal where I've got 7, I guess, of these stone drops. Honestly, I wouldn't have spent a ton of money, so I'm thinking maybe 20 bucks for all these. And these are normally like 8 bucks, I think. But anyway, I got all these stone drops, and I thought, okay, that's kind of timely, Iron Crafter's Nuvo drops. So I don't know that I'm going to do both of these pictures, but this is when this is one of the days, we went to Garden of the Gods. I think this was actually Wednesday, after my daughter's wedding. So got some neat pictures, and it's all like rocks and stuff. So I thought, okay, this is kind of cool, you know, with the stone drops. I just went over and honestly just grabbed a hip kit to see. It's called Good Vibes. So I thought, the colors, I at first glance, I thought maybe these colors will work. So I'm kind of hopeful because I really don't want to go digging for anything else. But I think this is going to work. Also, I've got kind of some cool, like I've got the bear and stuff. So that kind of makes me feel kind of, I don't know, hikey-ish. That's not even a word, but there's like a sun and stuff. I hope that's still in there. I don't think I've used it. Anyway, I think these will kind of work. And look at the letters. I don't even know what my title's going to be. I have no clue. But my thinking is to use the Nuvo drops. I've actually done a layout before where I put them down and like smeared them and stuff. But I think what I want to kind of do is, I may get some white cardstock, or maybe I can use this. I want to cut like a circle and then put like some pattern paper behind it. And then I want to put the picture like on the side. It's kind of the thing of, because I want to use, wait a minute. One of these two might work in the sense of like, I could use the Nuvo drops on these little dots and stuff. So maybe I do that. Do I cut this out? Do I cut the middle out? I'm thinking I cut the middle out, although this is really neat. This might be better, but then I've got this pattern. Oh, you guys. Okay. This is really neat from a rough standpoint. If I bring this in, I'm trying to decide, you guys. I'm kind of focusing on the warm colors. If I do this, I need her here, which is fine. But then I've got this. Maybe I use this instead because it's got those blues in it as like a frame. Let me think about this just a second because I have some thoughts. Ooh, there's feathers. I have some thoughts, but I'm not sure I'm married to anything just quite yet. There's all these golds and stuff. That's kind of pretty there. You guys, it's always hard when there's so many pretty papers to choose. Okay, let me, I think what I'm going to do is for sure cut this circle out. I need to mat that. Yeah, that should work. I think I'm going to actually frame it with this paper here, but then I'll put something behind the circle. Okay, let me do a little cutting and I'll be back on. Okay, really quick check-in because I went over I wanted to figure out how to do this without messing it up, and I found my Creative Memories, this little template here, and I think I'm going to use, technically the black ring is the perfect size, but, oops, wrong ring. It's this ring. If I use my red one, I'll be cutting perfectly, so I'm going to use my red ring there. I just wanted to show you guys that, so in case you know, kind of wonder, how do we cut these circles? This tool is fairly old, but I think it's still available. I don't sell this or anything, and I don't even know a rep, but because there's 1,000 circle cutters out there, obviously, but I find this one really handy because it's a little guide. So anyways, I'm going to cut that. I'll be back on. Okay, so I went ahead and used my glass mat. I don't usually do that. I actually use one of those, what's that called? Self-healing mats. And I like the glass mat, although my angle of my hand was a little funky. So you'll notice I'm going to have to kind of cut this little bit out. If I had pressed it's the first time I really used the glass mat to use this blade here. And I thought, oh, I'm going to do that from now on because normally it gets kind of caught on me. I just press too hard And in this case, I didn't press hard enough. So anyways, I cut my circle out. And I'm going to keep that too, because that actually looks pretty neat with that white border around it. So I'll keep that for some other layout in the future. So I'm just kind of cleaning up my edge right here. But I think that looks really pretty. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off, I believe it's a 1/4 inch from each side. Although somehow, some way, I think I get myself a little bit turned around and I cut one, I don't know. I'm going to cut I'm just going to say I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch off each side here. After I trim this little border off here. And I think this turns out really pretty. I'm happy with this. This didn't take me a real long time. I will say you'll see the Nuvo Drops piece at the end, and that took me just a few minutes because my hand got tired. There's a lot of little dots on this paper. Here's where I'm doing a little 1/4 inch, and I'll hang on to these little strips here too, because, you know, strips of paper can be really handy. So I think this is where I might have cut maybe the wrong side twice or something. Here's where I'm kind of sizing it. I'm like, wait, this doesn't look right. And so I'll end up cutting a side again. So I don't know. I honestly know what I did wrong here, but I definitely cut something a little funky. So I'll trim this one. It's okay. You can't tell in the end if I did do something wrong. I don't know where I did it, but I somehow cut something wrong somewhere, but it works out. It's okay. I contemplated leaving the flowers in the middle, but no, I'm going to do this here so it kind of calms it down. And also I just like the little, it brought the colors all kind of together. I tried that little orangey color with the hearts, but it was a little too much. It needed to be this little bit lighter color behind the flower, or behind the, I don't know, what is that? A doily looking thing, kind of lace looking print. I'm going to rotate that too, because I wanted the stripes are kind of different widths and stuff, this little plaid thing. And I'm actually going to end up rotating that because I want the little top, the narrow orange plaid piece at the top. So I'll do that in just a second. You may not even can tell what I'm talking about, but maybe you'll be able to once I get it done. So I'm matting my photo here with a white cardstock. I will actually end up triple matting it totally, because I'll come back in with a couple pieces of pattern paper too. And you'll see me fast with that too. Most of the time I spend on this layout, honestly, was just fasten with this, these little borders here, or photo mats, and then I'll fast around with the ephemera in just a minute. I try a couple of different combinations. I thought maybe that little turquoise piece there and all that, but I end up with a different look. I think I end up with maybe pink or something. You can kind of see it now. It's on the right-hand side. Got like the little peachy pinky thing with the little yellow photo mat. That's what I'm going to end up with. I did attach this back here. Oh, I did use my scissors, by the way. I can still not find my scuff raiders. I looked again. I with consciousness looked. I have no idea. And I had 2 of them, so I have no idea what to do with them. But I used scissors to go ahead and rough up the edge of the inside of the circle and then the outside of the bigger of the paper there. And then I did also scuff up the edges of the photo mats. And so I've kind of got a little texture going on. Now this is where I'm going to start messing with this ephemera. I kind of knew I kind of wanted to use the hot air balloon, I think, and the sun. Those 2 pieces were kind of in my mind. And so I'll kind of pull these apart. It's the lower right corner that I'm going to kind of mess with just a minute. I'll have to fast on that one. I don't really know why, but my brain was just kind of, I don't know, Christine. But I will find, I'm kind of sorting through these things. You can kind of see what's available to me. There's a lot of little wordy bits too. There's that hot air balloon. I did pull that out right away. I like that. And then like the sun. I'll fast around with that just a tad, but not much. And then I like that little frame. I'll pull that in just a minute. But I pull out like a rainbow. I try a couple of different things down here on this lower right because I wanted to create, you know, a cluster down there, but I just kept fastening, y'all. So I think I cut away in just a minute because I really, I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And I ended up using those 2, you see those 2 little patterns in the upper right, those circly things. I'll put that underneath the right corner a little bit. I will end up using the feathers though. And I kind of wanted to use the little banner, but that didn't look right either. I don't know. My head was just kind of like, I don't know about this. And so I'll kind of mess around with it. I even looked at this chipboard. I actually pulled out the one with the sun and the ocean looking thing. I pulled that out for a few minutes, although I don't show it on camera. And I put it back. I don't use it. So now you can kind of see what I have used. I got a couple of feathers. I've got the little circle one down there. And I put the little frame on the left-hand side because that's going to basically be the base for my title, which I'm going to end up calling this Happy Life. I may end up regretting that because the life word is technically part of a phrase that's life is good. But I figured, you know, good can always be used. May end up being an issue. We'll see eventually. But I like this Happy Life. I thought this was cute because this picture was taken of my daughter on the Garden of the Gods. Not quite a week after she got married. It was just not quite a week. It's 5 days after. And she was just cute. I thought she looked really pretty. I said, hey, do a little modelly pose or whatever. And I thought the scenery was beautiful. And, you know, life is good, or happy life or whatever. So that's what we're going to use as our title. And then I'm going to put a little foam beneath life. Happy was a puffy letter, puffy words. So I made life kind of pop up there. And what am I doing here? I think this is where I take the little puffy hearts. No. That's a puffy circle things here. I add a couple of these. I think these are kind of pretty. So I'll put these around. I'll just kind of create a little bit of a visual triangle down here on the bottom, basically. The upper left, and I'll bring in some of these little puffy hearts in a second. They're going to go around the upper left up there. And then I'll put some puffy hearts down in the bottom. Okay, you guys, I'm so sorry. I was 3 minutes late to a meeting, and so I had to turn off the voiceover to start a meeting. So here's where I'm at. I'm going to put I've got my little hot air balloon up on foam. I've got my photo up on foam. I don't know if I mentioned that. And I'm going to use these little puffy hearts now to just kind of add a little sweet touch. I think these little hearts are so cute. There's just tiny little puffies, and they are so cute, and the colors all go. And so I think it's 5 in the upper left, and then I'll add, I kind of decide on that one for just a second. I'll bring it down. I go, where? Oh, there we go. And then I'll put a handful down the lower right, just to kind of, again, you know, here I am going again, even though I'm in a circle and I've got all those things, I still end up with a bit of a diagonal here. And so I'll add those little guys. And then after that is when I'm going to pull out, I put a little phrase on the photo too. I think it's something about live your best life or something along those lines. You maybe can read it if you zoom in. But here's where I'm going to start adding my Nuvo drops. So now I'm finally to the Iron Crafter portion of my layout. And what I did is I took the pink ones, and I'm going to go around the whole outside, these little triangles here, of the little dots. And I do tap the bottom. I saw somebody do that sometime back. Your little Nuvo drops can sometimes create a little peak, and to help like settle that, you can tap the bottom a little bit. And so that's what I was doing a minute ago. And I will do that at the end as well, because I do end up with some little peaks here, especially the thicker, Nuvo drops. It creates like a little peak. And I think too, it has to do with like how you squeeze it and how close you keep it to the paper and all that kind of stuff. There's a little technique involved, I guess. It does kind of settle in though. You'll see that toward the end when I do a little slow down, you'll see most of them pretty much have settled in and just made like a little, bubble drop, as it were, not like a peak one. And so anyway, I go around all these little triangles and I fill all these in. The next one I'll do is the gold, and I'll do that to the pieces in between the triangles, the little dots in between. I don't put that on camera because it's just me putting dots down, but I will put the gold again in those little half moon ones kind of between the triangles. And then I'm going to use the turquoise, and you will see kind of the back end of that in just a second, and the little dots toward the center, or toward the middle piece a little closer to it. And so anyway, here's the gold, I say gold. Is it gold? Yeah, I think it's gold. And then in a second, I'm going to cut over, and you're going to see I'm kind of at the back end of the turquoise piece. So you can see where I've done all the little gold ones, and then here's me adding the little turquoise piece. And so I think this turned out really pretty. I like using these colors. I thought the dots were a nice little template, so you kind of stay, standard distances or whatever you want to call it. And I think this turned out really cute. So that is my Iron Crafter layout, you guys. I'm going to hold it up here. I'm going to do a little slow down so you can kind of see it. And you can see they kind of settled. I did let it dry for a little bit. And you can see they kind of settled into just the little dots there. So thank you guys so much for watching. Do make sure you check out the playlist and the description, all that kind of stuff below. There's usually a pretty good chunk of people playing along, I think, anyways. This is usually a pretty good size hop, but make sure you check out the playlist. And of course, there's a little description that kind of explains what we're doing. You can actually join if you go to the Facebook group, Peace Craft Love Facebook group. You can actually volunteer to play along as well. So anyways, we'll see you next time. Bye.